this would be for anybody in the panel, is it hard to find and keep really good IT employees in the federal government?
From my perspective, yes. In the 30 years that I've been at USDA, there has been quite a bit of turnover. Some of it is, frankly, the salary scale for a person who's managing, say, a $3 billion IT portfolio, or $2 to $3 billion, depending on the year, like Mr. Washington, would make far more than what the senior executive would make in the federal government. So you have some of that, salary pressure. The responsibilities are more, and as you pointed out, and from the private sector to the public sector, the rules and requirements are incredibly difficult to comply with at times that aren't really even IT related. So I think there's some difficulty in finding qualified people for these positions.
And then keeping them. Do we have private sector type of incentives to keep Mr. Washington made this a good question for you, to keep people like yourself that are good here in the federal government?
I don't know if there are private industry incentives. I would have to know what those incentives are, sir.
I'm just talking about overall general compensation, job satisfaction.
Mr. Washington, this is a good time for you to ask for a raise.
Yes, sir.
And if that's
where I was heading.
I think it would. I do not think we're compensated as well as our private industry counterparts in terms of the amount of responsibility and accountability that we have currently.
Mr. Powner.
We've seen some very qualified people enter the government because they're into mission and it's a patriotic move and that type of thing. But what's really key here, and it gets back to this reporting, who wants to accept a job as a CIO if you're buried down in the agency multiple layers? You want to report to the top and you want to have the right authorities. So I think it's not going to be about with compensation packages. It's going to be about having a position with the right authorities where you report appropriately and you can really help move the country forward.
And we're changing that. Or maybe we've changed that.
We're going to talk to,
because I agree with that.
The CIO at DOD came great private sector experience. We can ask him what attracted him to DOD, because I guarantee he's making a fraction of what he made at JP Morgan. But it would be really good to explore with Mr. Deasy on that topic.
Thank you. Thank you very much. My time has expired. I yield back.